Anyone with ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what Spirit is saying to the churches. To everyone who is victorious, I will give some of the manna that has been hidden away in heaven. And I will give to each one a white stone, and on the stone will be engraved a new name that no one understands except the one who received it. I love that part. I love that part. So we turn from the world of conditions. We become willing to touch to the flame, to offer to the flame any fear. And we turn to love. That is victorious. That is turning. That's the whole old repent. Repent is simply turning anew. Turning from fear to love. And with that clearing, joining in spirit within your very own being and given a new name. Now, how this was described to me early on was that, and the reason I picked the freedom reading was because this is about freedom. And so the story goes that in ancient times, when you were sentenced, you were found guilty, then you were sentenced, you served your time in prison or in jail. And once you served your time, you were given a white stone upon which you would write your new name. Who you were before is no longer. And that when you have turned from fear to love, is it not like you are a new individual? I don't know about you, but boy, when I'm coming from fear, I'm a crazy lady. I am a crazy lady. I'm constricted. I've got to make things happen because I'm not safe or I'm not going to get what's mine because there's lack, there's limitation, and I'm going to protect because you're going to try to take what's mine. So I'm going to cast out my projections onto you and be proactive and protect what's mine. Way different lady than the one who's coming from love. The one who's coming from love. There's gentleness. There's understanding. There's allowance. Oh, what do you mean it's not going to go that way? Oh, okay. Everything is coming up and supporting me for my growth, development, and unfoldment. Everything. And so rather than go to fear, in love, I can know that the universe is supporting me. That there must be some sort of lesson in something I'm wanting to hook into from fear. And I can ask what that lesson is and be made new. It is like it is a newness, a new name. And over the years, it's so funny. I have a jewelry box full of these little white stones. And some of you may as well. And it's kind of fun to see how it evolves through the years, you know, because it is a blank canvas, which every day truly is a blank canvas. Every day we can let go and turn to love, let go and turn to love, and then on the new canvas, claim what is ours. So the idea here is that as unlimited spirit, joined in heart and mind, you ask the truth for you. What is my new name? And so over the trajectory of my life, different things have been written on my white stone. I looked at a couple. One said commitment. One said partner. Another said writer. Another said minister. Another said peace. Another said Christ. Another was blank. Open, unlimited in that moment. I started writing these back in 95, and since that time, all of those things that I have just listed, I have expressed in and as my life. I used to get really hung up on names because when I was in practitioner training, spiritual practitioner training, a 3-year program to be a spiritual counselor, they had a segment called Your Name is Your Nature. Your name is your nature. And everybody was looking up their names, like, what does my name mean? And people would come on, mine means beauty. And mine is self-evident, joy. Mine is clarity. Mine is light. So I looked at my name. I'm going to share this with you. I thought about it. I don't want them to know what my name means. But the name Claudia, and I've never found another meaning for it. I searched, I Googled, I researched. The only thing it is it says clod, like C-L-O-D, like a clod of dirt, and then lame, L-A-M-E. And I was upset. I thought, how could my parents name me Claudia? You know, what a lousy name. I mean, that just is terrible. Lame. And then I thought, well, what's my middle name? And my middle name is Renee. And that means filled with light. But there's also an overcoming aspect to that name. And I thought, well, the juxtaposition of Claudia and Renee, that sounds good because there has been a time in my life when I felt lame, when I felt paralyzed, when I felt like I couldn't be and do or fly, you know, in the way that I felt that I was being called to do. And so that with the overcoming aspect, I thought, that's cool. That's really cool. But I still didn't kind of like it. So when I first, so there are name changes in the Bible, and names change in the Bible when, and usually it's God who's changing the name. There are a couple instances where it's not, where, well, I'm going to just change my name. But in the Bible where God changes the name, it is examples where the individual is representing something new, or they're stepping into a new era of their life, or somehow they have been made new, and that they are appointed in a specific way, ordained, if you will, to carry that name to the masses and to be known for that. And so when people get ordained or licensed and they cross a threshold, they will often take a new name, like royalty in Europe. When it's their time to be crowned, they will take a new name, like the Pope. When the Pope becomes the Pope, before he was the Pope, often he has a different name. When he becomes the Pope, he takes a new name. So that crossing of a threshold, and when ministers are ordained, it's like that's a crossing of a threshold. And I remember, like, I met people in these circles, you know, people would call them woo-woo circles. And I'd meet people like Grace Lovejoy. I'm like, really? Your parents named you Grace Lovejoy? Like, seriously? And so, like, at first I didn't realize that they chose their name. You can do that. And so I tried on lots of different names. When I first became a minister, I was Reverend Renee, because I thought, well, that sounds cool, Reverend Renee. And I've done a whole lot of names, right, Tony? We try them out sometimes. When we go on trips, sometimes we'll take a new name and just play with it. Like, who will we be with this name? And so, you know, you got to have fun with all this because it's all so silly. It's all just play. And what we talk about here is that you get to choose. You get to choose. But I wouldn't choose from that place of fear. We join first with Spirit as love, and then allow the name to be given from your highest self to you, that you may be made new.